Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Tuesday, guys. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Tuesday morning, guys, depending on where you are. So, guys, I'm going to upload another recording sometime this morning in regards to certain signs to look for that are indications that God may be about to shift your season and elevate, accelerate, restore you. But I felt more of a very profound conviction to make this recording after coming off of the nature trail. Really quickly, I want to also insert those of you who are currently or in general having a hard time hearing from God, and you feel like you've exhausted all options. You've read your word, you've done this, you went to church 37 times per week, and you just can't hear from God. Now, there are certain seasons where God is silent, but I also want to encourage you to get in nature. There's something about nature, I guess because distractions are limited, of course, and nature, we're more connected spiritually to God, things like that. A lot of chosen people right now are being called to fast in different ways. A lot of you guys are having more convictions to eat more clean, drink your water, honey, get your IV drips over here, IV drips, right? There is some kind of correlation in regards to eating more clean, working out, I guess because you're getting so much toxins out of your body and you're receiving everything pure from the spiritual realm. It just seems like it's easier to receive when you're really moving, working out, tapping into nature, right? So Google nature trails in your area. Just really, really get out there and just, do your thing. So I had a good sis who emailed me in regards to, she is one of the individuals who were raised in church, went 37 times per week, being sarcastic, I guess. But she's never had an encounter with God. So it's just routine, right? And she often hear me talk about the importance of a relationship with God. And so she feels like that's the route she's currently on. And she wanted me to give some examples, if you will, of encounters, personal encounters that I have had with God. Now, here's the thing, guys. I'm very vocal, and obviously, if you can see me, I'm not a religious person. I'm not following, and let me be clear, I'm not going to say all rules, if you will, because some things is just, right, common sense. But when it comes down to certain things, right, I don't feel like I have to have on a church uniform to talk about how good God has been in my life. I'm not preaching to anybody. I'm more of a spiritual or motivational speaker, motivator, if you will. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a pastor's wife. So you're not going to box me in this box, right? I'm not even like speaking biblically on a lot of things. I'm speaking more spiritual about my personal walk with God. I'm very tapped in, so no one can ever make me doubt or question certain things when it comes to religion. Now, again, hear me well. If you are a religious person, truly, I respect you. Honestly, that's just not my thing. I have a very, very personal, intimate relationship with God. So that's what I mean more so when I say spiritual rather than religious. I'm not speaking anything new age. Absolutely none at all. I have a personal, intimate, one-on-one relationship with God. That's important, right? When it comes down to manifesting things through God, you're in alignment to receive the manifestations. A personal relationship is crucial. Respectfully, your pastor cannot give you a vision. Your pastor cannot give you your vision. That's personal, right? So here's the thing. I'll tie that in at the end on how a personal relationships help lead you to your purpose and your calling, then ultimately destiny. But I want to start with really quickly the encounters I've had with God. Listen, I've experienced the mercy of God. My goodness, I have experienced not only favor but abundance. I feel like I'm a walking favor billboard, if I'm honest with you guys, and I say that in all humility. I've experienced, honey, the power of God, but I've also experienced that wrath, honey. Let me just tell you, honey. God is love, God is patient, God is kind. But honey, if you ever mess around and get up in that season of wrath, whoo, now don't get it twisted, right? He's going to drag you, but he loves on you at the same time. Like, he truly take whatever you're making your head hard about, or if it's something that he truly he's ready to elevate you and you're making your head hard, or maybe you're confused about the direction and he just snatches the rug, and that may feel like wrath. Whatever it is, he's going to take it, and ultimately he's going to use it for your good. It's going to transform you and then get you ultimately on the path of purpose and calling. So, good sis, a couple of physical experience. Okay, I'll start with let me start with, okay, the thing is, the more you grow, then you hear from God more and more, right? If you're just starting out, you just answered your call. What I've realized is maybe I don't know, maybe because his presence is so heavy, it's like if you give somebody that on the first go round, it will freak them out. So from my experience, he introduces himself very, very, very slowly, right? Very slowly. And then over time, right, the more and more you grow, then he makes himself more and more known, more and more profound. But for me, it has always been just starting out, just this profound feeling in my spirit. There's just something, and this is how I get my convictions. There's just a nudging, and there's a profound feeling in my spirit. I can't even explain it in words. Only the people who hear from God through that profound feeling, you know what that feeling feels like, but it's ultimately peace, right? Okay, so first starting out, right, on this path of purpose and calling, that's how I heard from God for a very long time. But more recently, maybe like, I don't know, not recent, but more like 3 years ago, something like that, I was sleeping, honey. And I'm the kind of person, like, I like to sleep. I think that's one reason why I just don't want kids. I don't know. I just like to sleep. Don't wake me up. Please don't disturb my sleep, honey. If I'm awake, you got all my attention, but please let your girl sleep once she's sleeping. So I was sleeping. And this feeling, I promise you guys, it felt like a blanket, like just a very peaceful blanket that just laid over my body. Literally, I was sleeping on my stomach. And I don't really sleep on my stomach, right? But I was sleeping on my stomach, and this blanket of peace and warmth and presence just laid over my, not even in a heavy way, just very, very subtle, yet reassuring, yet loving. Literally whispered in my ear and said, "This is Yeshua. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you." Only people who've had personal encounters with God will think you're not crazy. When you're speaking about people who are just religion based and they feel like they can only hear from God from their church or their pastor, respectfully, they will think you are crazy when you have certain encounters with God. So that's just an example of how it grows from when you first start out to where you currently are. And then of course, the more and more we grow, he's going to make himself more and more known, but he just don't throw it all on you. And I've realized too, you have to want it. You have to seek it. You have to be fully surrendered to truly be in a posture of ready to be aligned with your purpose and your calling, right? You don't have to be perfect at all. That's another religious thing. You do not have to be perfect at all, He grows you up, right? The longer you're walking this walk. So that's one personal encounter. Also, that just hit me. I was grieving. I'm talking about horribly grieving some years ago. And honey, I was so heavy in grief and crying and sobbing at the time that I couldn't even realize what was happening. But my body was rocking. If I had to put it into a physical example, how a mother would literally maybe sit in a rocking chair, or a father would sit in a rocking chair and with a newborn and just rock the baby back and forth, my body was rocking. There was nobody else with me. My body was rocking. And then it scared me, right? Because I thought maybe I was rocking and didn't realize it. So then it scared me so bad that I just intentionally stopped crying, and my body was still rocking like a baby, literally rocking, protecting, loving on, right? That just popped up. So those are just different encounters, how I've experienced God personally. His favor. In my business, I had a patient who had got really, really sick. She had got a blood infection. We were in the ER. Listen, every single doctor, they pulled doctors from, honey, probably from China at that point. And every doctor was just saying, there's nothing they can do, this, that, and the third. They couldn't get her pressure stabilized, all that. Honey, I heard God told me clear as day. I didn't have no oil, honey, but he told me to grab some lotion. You know, the hospitals, we have like those little sample lotion things inside the hospital room. Honey, I went in that bathroom, honey. I rubbed that lotion on my hand, honey, and I started pleading the blood and pleading and speaking whatever he told me to speak. The instructions were to go back there and rub my patient's head, honey, with that lotion, honey. Greasy and all, honey. I promise you, within a few minutes, those doctors entered that room. They came into the room with stretchers because they were about to transport her somewhere, and they came in that room and they all just stood and looked because everything was stabilized. So much so that they kept hitting the buttons over and over again to reset and reset and reset, and they could not understand what the heck just happened. Honey, that's the power of God, point blank, period. Now, I must also add that we don't really have authority over everything now. This is why alignment, right, is crucial. Your purpose and your calling, because there's authority there, right? There's protection there. So they was like, well, I guess we're not going to the other hospital. I guess we're just going to go and to a normal, not even ICU. We're going to go to a normal floor. So I'm just looking like, all right, okay, that's right. And they're just staring at me like, who the heck is this? By the time we got up to the 7th floor, word had already got to the 7th floor. Like, we walk in the room, and one of the nurses that was in the room, she was a child of God, and she's a beautiful white lady, blonde, I mean, gorgeous, just gorgeous, her spirit, everything. And she just said, I just heard what happened downstairs. And she said, only the power of God. Now, she couldn't talk too long because she had other people coming in, you know what I mean? But she just kept looking at me. She said, I know the power of God when I see it. Honey, the power of God. But you got to be, here's the thing. Here's the key factor about that. It's not that when you are in situations like that you won't be, like, that fear won't rise up, because we're human, right? It's not that fear won't rise up when these doctors start giving you certain diagnosis and this, that, and the third. It's not that the fear and stuff won't rise up, right? You just got to catch it. You can't let that thing take hold of you, because once it takes hold of you, then you're losing your power. So feel that fear for a second, but then tap in spiritually. The devil is a liar, point blank, period, right? Start quoting your scriptures, whatever your belief scriptures are, and you got to trust and you got to believe. One thing I've learned about God, when it comes down to certain things, you can question things, but you got to almost have zero room for doubt. You have to really believe it. It's not until that stuff starts getting into your spirit, then your spirit starts to kind of, dwindle and no honey, I ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. The other one, what was it? I spoke on the power and fire of God. I spoke on authority, importance of. I'll leave that wrath for last. I'm gonna leave the wrath for last, but I'm gonna speak on really quickly on the importance of having the relationship when it comes down to your purpose and your calling. Okay, here's the thing. Religion based, again, maybe these are people who only go to church. This is not everybody, please, right? Please just think with perspective here. I'm speaking about people who, they go to church 37 times per week, but they truly don't know God. Again, it's just more routine, is what they were taught to do. They've never had a personal encounter with God. Well, it's going to be very, very difficult to discover your purpose and your calling. Because again, when you have a personal relationship, you spend a lot of time in isolation, right? So God reveals things to you, so you can have an indication. Now, me personally, this is just me. I believe a lot of the times our purpose and our calling, that seed was instilled in us very, very early on. We can articulate it. We just knew we like to do this particular thing, right? I've always been the child in elementary school and so on up until now who was always drawn more to the outcast, the kids who are being bullied, the kids who are being just this, that, and the third, right? Just savior complex mentality, right? So I believe there was always a seed on how God gave us that thing early. But over time, we must water and develop it. And then, of course, the more and more you grow, then purpose keeps evolving, right? But ultimately, that seed of it it remains the same, but it keeps evolving, if you will. But when you have a personal relationship with God, He takes and help you to develop it, right? There's so much you learn, so much insight and wisdom, and He love on you. This is why an intentional single season or an intentional healing season or an intentional isolation season is crucial. I place myself in sometimes I get thrown up in there. I ain't gonna lie. If I'm making my head hard about something, or if I'm procrastinating too much, because that's one thing that I'm really working on. Honey, He'll just throw me up in the isolation season, right? But now I get to the point where I feel like if I'm really disconnected, I will place myself in an intentional isolate. I'm kind of in it now. I'm in and out of it, where I can really, really hear more clearly. Or when I know a season is about to shift, oh, honey, I'm cutting everything off that disturb my peace. I don't care who you are. I will block you and see you when Jesus come home. Because this is how crucial I know that this is the time to really hear. See, we learn more and more things before each shift, because each shift is a new level. So we go back to school, spiritual school, before each shift. And for with many chosen people right now, this shift here is destiny, major, grand destiny moment shifts. So we're learning so much. Isolation is a must, at least for me. So as God starts to grow you up in your purpose and your calling, then again, you keep evolving. He keeps teaching you this, that, and the third. So that's why a personal relationship, because again, a pastor cannot give you purpose. Nobody can give you purpose. It's so internal. It's so profound. They can help you to develop it through wise counsel, but they can't give it to you. So a personal relationship is crucial. Also, a personal relationships teach you confidence, because you know who you are. This is why nobody can't shake me. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to look like Mother Teresa. I'm just not going to have on a church uniform because you were religiously taught that way. You go to church 37 times a week. Don't know God. You gossip. You're gossiping. Honey, child, stay in your lane, right? So honey, Kizzy, just leave it alone. A personal relationship, God will deal with you how He want to deal with you. He's going to tell you what you need to work on, right? He's going to convict. The Holy Spirit will convict your character flaws. The Holy Spirit will tell you what He feels you need. Then when you hear that, honey, please do what you do. But I know I heard very, very early on, maybe 14 years old. I don't care how high you ever go. Do not allow anybody to change you. It will be me if I see, right? So, because I locked on to that, I stayed true to myself. Do you realize that the very people who may be trying to tell you this is that and the third are the very people who have no fruit on their lives? I mean, how are you have zero fruit on your life. You're doing absolutely nothing for the kingdom. But you want to give other people instructions. Please make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Now, again, if you're called to the church building, everybody's not. If you're called to be a pastor's wife, and my God, the scrutiny I'm sure that comes with that role, then absolutely, there are certain uniforms you need to wear. There are certain things you need to be doing. Honey, in the meantime, I'm going to do me. I'm going to continue being a destiny helper. I'm going to continue doing missionary work. I'm going to continue doing my purpose and my calling and having a great time as I do it. But let's talk really quickly, guys. Listen, I was trying to hold this off for a little because, I don't need no flashbacks, honey. That wrath of God is no joke. And again, it can come on you for different reasons. It can come on you because you're truly making your head hard. Like, there are some people right now who are in very, very difficult seasons, and they're trying to understand, well, what did I do? And I don't know why God haven't shown me, and why God haven't answered me, and why am I going through this? Listen, first and foremost, accountability is key. Let's be real here, because I'm going to be honest. When I went through my season of wrath, honey, I took my accountability, because once you take your accountability, it really helps you just to submit to that season where you can go ahead and get through that season more quickly. But when you're still in disbelief and you can't understand why you're up in that season, honey, you're going to sit in that season longer because you're still not able to receive what it is that God needs you to receive. So why would he release you when you still can't even understand the wrong stuff you're doing? So you're going to have to sit longer in it. So it could be because you've been doing some things you know you're not supposed to be doing, right? Maybe you were hurting other people intentionally, just a lot of character flaws, right? And again, that's not the only reason why. I know I got thrown up in there for a couple of reasons, but mine was more so less because just this chosen, I would say at the time, unhealed chosen heart, meaning he's requiring you to remove people and you just can't remove them because of that toxic loyalty, or that, as Pastor R.C. Blakes would say, that toxic empathy. These can even look like family and lifetime friends. But the point of the matter is, it was a narcissist. It was a narcissist. Even so, that's going to be another thing that people who've dealt with narcissists, when it becomes too hard for you to leave because it's taken over you spiritually, and you don't have that, you haven't maybe put the work in yet, so your spiritual power is not that enough to really leave on your own, he'll throw you up in a season. Now that's going to feel like wrath. You're not there because making your head hard. Now, the people who've intentionally hurt other people, I wasn't in there for that because my heart is too pure for that foolishness, honey. I was in there because I was not strong enough to walk away from toxic things yet. Okay. I was also thrown up in there because I didn't know he was ready to shift me. Now, we're speaking now about when you first answered that call. So now he's shifting you from your stuff, your relationships, your career, not everybody, because I'm still in the same career, but your relationships, your career, the school you chose, the house you bought, like all that stuff that may be tied up with narcissistic energies or some demonic spirit, some kind of way, right? When he's ready to shift you, he's going to snatch that rug. Now, he'll give you the option to leave first or put yourself in some kind of season of isolation, season of training and testing first. But if you refuse, or if you just don't have the strength to, honey, he's going to snatch that rug along with your edges and your hairline, bro. Whoo, honey. So, regardless of how you got there, from being evil and intentionally hurting people, or he's ready to shift you, or again, in my case, most of it, I just couldn't leave when he was really trying to protect me. Honey, in that season, it seems like nothing will work. Not only will nothing that you put your hands to work, you're going to start losing everything. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose your job. You're going to probably lose friends and some family. Honey, you may almost lose your mind, but he's going to protect it. He's going to snatch everything from you. Everything that you try to go back and get, right? That toxic relationship that he pulled you from. The job that maybe you got fired from. Because you got to pay your bills, right? So you're desperate. So you're going back to this job. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to waste your time. Nothing's going to happen. If he has closed that door is not going to reopen. Now, we got free will. So you can go and do what you want to do and press pass. Just be prepared to deal with the consequences. So in that season of wrath, what you will find yourself doing in the beginning or even the middle, is you're fighting like a wildcat. You're fighting against the current. So everything he's trying to take, right? He's trying to get you to settle down, but you're fighting against it because it's like survivor mode. You're losing everything. Your little honey, you're broke. Your little heart is crushed. Nobody likes you. Nobody will answer your call. Like everything's falling apart. You've been the only faithful one at that job. Everyone else stole the goddamn on copy papers. You never stole anything, and those people fired you, honey, because you was late 5 minutes one day after 35 years of being there. Honey, your little feelings is hurt. But a time will come. Could be months, could be years. For me, it was 2 years. I wish I knew what I know now, and what I'm trying to maybe help somebody now to shorten that season. If I knew what I knew now, I would have submit and surrendered more quickly instead of fighting like a wildcat, trying to figure out what he's doing, right? Trying to get back everything that he's taking. I would have submit and surrendered much early on. Easier said than done. But because I know why he did it, I would have easily 100% surrender and submit. Because once you get to that point, now at this point, you've exhausted all your options. There's absolutely nothing you can do that's going to change his mind. And at this point, you know it. So you're so tired of fighting, honey. You're just laying on the mat like a boxer who just got knocked out. There's nothing left in you to give. Physically, spiritually, or emotionally. Honey, you're tapped out. That's where he wants you at, right there. That's exactly where he wants you at, right there. While you're fighting like a wildcat, he just looking at you in the cut, just shaking his head, like, look at this, look at this fool. Just look at this fool here. Don't even realize I'm trying to advance you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you escape these people who's trying to kill you. And you're sitting here fighting against, just look at this fool. So go ahead and keep fighting. So he let you tire yourself out. And finally, when you finally say, okay, God, I surrender. What is this about? What is the message? Okay, I just want what you want. Please just help your girl out. Help your boy out. Boom. That's what he's waiting for. So I will encourage anybody, if you're in that kind of storm, one of the most important things you can do, ask God, what is the message? Every message have a storm. He's going to reveal to you, you're evil. Definitely not me, right? We're speaking about narcissistic here. Narcissistic personalities or narcissists in general. You're evil. You've ruined many people's lives, but you mess around and touch the chosen one. Now, I'm about to flip your whole life upside down. I'm trying to teach you how not to do it again. Or he may tell you, you can't even see everybody around you is using you. You can't even see everybody around you is like, look at the people around you. You're the smartest one in the group. Everyone else is using you. These people don't even love you. They're attaching yourself. Like, you don't even have your childhood wounds is what's keeping you dealing with narcissistic people or users and abusers. So because you can't protect yourself, and I see what you can't see, let me snatch this rug. Or he may tell you, job well done. Like, I feel like I kind of lean more towards this one. Job well done. You weren't perfect. Absolutely not. But job well done at this level. Yes, you done great. You were determined. You got a lot of great things on your own terms. And this is that and the third. But that's not my will for you. But if you follow my will, right? Purpose and calling, alignment. I will give you that times 15, but you're going to have peace behind it. See, you're all stressed out over here with the business, and you're stressed out over here because these knucklehead, like, you're stressed out. So what I have for you, I'm going to give you more, and then you're going to have peace behind it. Now that's the ultimate decision. Are you going to say, no, I don't want it? And because, again, free will, you can easily go back. But, honey, really, what's back there? What's back there? Or you can submit and say, okay, please take your girl higher. Show me what I don't know, right? Help me to be teachable. And then you start your path to purpose and calling, and he expands you more and more. Well, after that, honey, you go into some kind of isolation season, because he have to now transform your mind and your thinking in order for you to be able to handle, right, the next level. Remember, we keep growing and growing and growing, right? Glory to glory, level to level, right? So once he have your attention, and then he really starts, listen, let me plug this in really quickly, because I just got a download. Once you're in that season where you finally like say, okay, Lord, obviously I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Let me just do it your way. When you hit that season of isolation and transformation or whatever, the enemy is going to tempt you times 50. Everything that God pulled you from, he's going to try to send you back. God told you to leave the narcissist, never look back again, because this person wants you gone. The enemy is going to like dry everything up and make you think like, well, you're following God and you can't even hear from him. You might as well go back. Right? Or anything you were doing. I don't know, you might have been a dime bag boy. Right? Now your baby mama need milk, and she's threatening to put you in child support because you're not a dime bag boy anymore. God is telling you that you can never go back to that lifestyle, that you got to do things, get a 9 to 5. Honey, every application you put in, honey, these people are rejecting you because you already got the charge of the dime bag boy, honey, on your record. And you're like, God, I'm trying to do the right thing here. You're going to be pushed up against the wall. What he's doing is he's testing you. He's testing you to see how much he can trust you. God will not elevate you if he can't trust you. Honey, let me just tell you. Your girl is far from perfect, right? I'm very transparent. I'm far from perfect. But one thing I toot my horn on, honey. God can trust me. And he don't even have to be watching me. Well, he's going to always be watching back. And he know he can trust me. If God can, it's truly part of the formula, right? Purpose and calling is your true formula, right? You answer the call. You get in alignment. You be transformed for your purpose and your calling. God has to provide for your purpose and your calling. He will take care of you in the process. Simple. Now, don't get it twisted. You can get thrown back some levels if you're making your head hard. Right? I done had one of those too, honey, but that was level 1, level 2, honey. He will watch you like a hawk. And then some kind of major test will come up, where it's going to be something that, it pushes your back against the wall, honey. It's going to look like you don't have no choice. It's going to look like God is staring at you and the devil is just laughing at you like you going to sit here and trust God and this, that, and that. Honey, if you mess around and pass that particular major test, it's almost like boom, acceleration happens overnight. And you won't even see it coming. And truth of the matter is, you're already so surrendered, because remember, you already surrendered after all the chaos you went through. So you're just content now. That's when your shift will happen. It's very, very rare. Well, I can't say that, but I'll speak for myself. It's very, very rare that a shift happens when we're all over the place, when we're full of anxiety and freaking out and trying to make it happen, The shift typically happens when we are fully surrendered, minding our business. We're doing something else, honey. Now, you can feel it like now, if you guys are really tapped in, well, you guys are, your spirit is excited because you know a shift is coming. Actually, I'll tie that into the next recording that I will upload in regards to signs that your season is about to shift. So stay on the lookout for that. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.